Welcome to the Lila Astrology channel. My name's Dabney and I'm an evolutionary astrologer. And today I'm going to be talking about Pluto going into Aquarius. We are going to talk a lot about Pluto going to Aquarius. So this is kind of a short video just to say welcome to this new energy. So if this is content you're interested in, please do stick around. Okay, everybody, we've been waiting. If you have a sun, a moon, or an ascendant in a cardinal sign, which means Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you have reason to celebrate right now because Pluto will be officially leaving Capricorn for the rest of our lives tomorrow, which is the 19th. Okay, so that is a reason to celebrate because at some point since 2008, there's been a several year period where you have been completely annihilated and taken down to the studs and walked through the fire and returned a stronger, better person. Because when Pluto leaves a sign or Pluto leaves a transit, it leaves a gift. Because you have survived. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger with Pluto. So we can all kind of congratulate ourselves because collectively we have lived through Pluto and Capricorn in our lifetimes. Now, this also kind of ushers in the end of the United States Pluto return. It's got a few more months to kind of sort of completely get off of there. But the bottom line is, that energy is folding, and now we are entering into new territory, which will be the Uranian return, and I will do a whole video about that. But what I will say is we are headed towards different times. There is a different energy coming, and all the stuckness that maybe we've been feeling since 2020 especially is going to subside, and things are going to become very accelerated in the coming weeks. And we're going to really have a better understanding of what Pluto and Aquarius is going to usher in. But I've talked in the past about Pluto. Pluto is a planet that really wants to expose things that are no longer working. Pluto wants to shine a light on the dark places and say, hey, this is not good. You need to clean this up a little bit. And oftentimes that can be very jarring. It can be hard to face our own shadow. Okay, Pluto can be our shadow. And so with the Pluto return in the US, we've had to face the shadow of the areas of this country where it is not equal for everybody. We've had to face the shadow of corruption and our very hierarchical society that rewards billionaires over the common people. So now we're entering a new era. We have a completely unprecedented new administration that is going to do things very differently. For better or for worse, we are all collectively going to learn a lot about what's next in pretty short order. So, Aquarius. What is Aquarian energy? The high side of Aquarian is freedom and liberation and not caring what other people think about you. And it's throwing off the shackles of the feeling that you have to be something that you're not. And Aquarius is not always the most warm and fuzzy sign. It's an air sign. So it's a lot about ideas about the collective and how we as a society need to move forward and bring about change in a way that will revolutionize the status quo. So that's all very Aquarian kind of energy. So you can see how there is kind of with Pluto and Aquarius, there may be a wrecking ball sort of energy coming through. And there may be a wrecking ball that comes through our government or systems that we've come to rely upon. And so that can put people in a state of fear to some degree. But the thing with Pluto is whenever Pluto first enters your realm, it's shocking and it can feel like your whole world has been rocked. But you learn to live with it. You learn to deal with it, and you begin to understand what it's all about. You start to get the lessons, and you start to see what's really happening, and you start to formulate a plan. And then you put that plan into action, and you begin to really kind of get the lessons. And then by the end, there's just this more like cleanup phase. Okay, so as you know, I don't really do predictive astrology, but what I will say is that while history repeats itself in some ways, it isn't always exact. So they always say, what do they say? History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. So when Pluto was in Aquarius the last time, we had the American Revolution, we had the French Revolution, we had the Industrial Revolution. Okay, this time what I would say is we're looking at the technological revolution. So I think it's going to become apparent pretty quickly what's going to happen when the government changes pretty dramatically this year. And the systems that we've learned to rely upon in the past, we can no longer rely upon. That kind of dismantling has already kind of begun, where the trusted institutions, we no longer trust. We no longer trust our media. We, have, these phones in our hands and like a lot of the doom scrolling and things like that we've been experiencing, I think is going to shift. So collectively, what does that mean? It means that we have a great opportunity to come together as human beings and get out of our isolation and find people with like-minded interests. I think that's one of the best things that you can do during this time is find a community of people who think like you and who share your values. I want you to kind of translate any sort of fear that you have about things not being the way they used to be, or what impending doom can emerge. And I want you to pour that into constructive action with other people. Okay, that is kind of how we get through this time of change and upheaval, is collectively through groups with other people who are in our community, who are in our tribe. Find your tribe, join memberships, join the Sierra Club, join whatever, just join. Be a part of something. Don't be isolated. That's very Pluto and Capricorn, where we've all been isolated in our homes, right? During COVID, we couldn't even leave our homes for a few months. So this is about recognizing that there are people out there. We're not alone. You're not alone. So find other people that have similar interests and lean into those interests, okay? So liberation. Feel somewhat liberated. I'm feeling somewhat liberated by the fact that there's just been this overarching feeling of like impending doom. That's not going to serve anybody with Pluto and Aquarius. I think what we need to do is kind of feel liberated that we've all made our choices, and the universe is now going to unfold as the universe is going to unfold before us. And we need to lean into the higher side of these different changing energies. And so right now, what I want to focus on is Pluto and Aquarius. And we're going to have a 2025 video where I'm going to break down all of the changes that are coming. I'm going to have lots of guests on that are going to talk about the 2025 energy. But for you personally, I think I have one spot left in my Revisioning Your Life course, which will probably might not even be. But anyway, here's the thing. I opened that up just to subscribers and a very small group because I'm going to offer a class in January on revisioning your life. And so there'll be more about that to come. But I'm really wanting to help you understand how Pluto can be so liberating. Pluto and Aquarius can be so liberating in your personal chart, and what you can do to find your mission in the world so you can lean into that and be a part of giving back to society. This is all about giving back to society and being a part of something greater than we are individually. This is about dismantling hierarchies, okay? So, and there is something about equality. So, if you are, like me, a little feminist and you want to be a part of something bigger, there's always something to be a part of to fight for people's rights. There's always opportunities to help people less fortunate than you. So that's a big part of what Pluto and Aquarius will also be as well, is kind of a new structure of helping helping society as a greater whole. Groups, communities, networks, disrupting status quo. Okay. I also think there is an opportunity personally to see where you have felt like you've been ahead of your time. Aquarius is ahead of its time. So have you ever kind of felt like, oh man, I had this really great idea and it was ahead of its time. And then somebody did it 10 years later and made $1 million, right? Reflect on that, because Aquarius is ahead of its time. And there can be something very isolating and lonely about that. You can feel like you are an outsider, like you don't belong, because people misunderstand your ideas. If that resonates at all with you, that's very Aquarian. So kind of recognize there's opportunities now for you to align with the here and now, because Pluto in Aquarius is going to escalate the consciousness and the evolution of everybody. Pluto in Aquarius, I'm not like, I'm not super new agey, like the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I don't think that that's where we're at. I think I'm a little more practical and grounded than that. But do I think that there is a new dawning of consciousness and people will kind of see things in a different way? Absolutely. And do I think that there's opportunities to connect with something bigger than ourselves universally? Absolutely. So I think things like astrology are going to really take off. I think anything having to do with AI and technology, if you think about Pluto and Capricorn, we're just wrapping that up. But last time Pluto was in Aquarius, there was the Industrial Revolution. We're not going to have another Industrial Revolution, but we will have a technological revolution. And we may see the dark side of technology with things that we don't understand and AI taking over the old ways of doing things. But do I think that has to be super scary? I think that there's reasons to be potentially concerned, but I don't think it has to be super scary. I think there's something to embracing the fact that we are headed into unknown territory. I'm trying to get Rick Levine to come on here and talk about, I saw him give a presentation about how Pluto in Aquarius is like the caterpillar in the chrysalis phase. And it is very painful to be all wrapped up in a chrysalis and you really don't know that you're about to emerge as a butterfly. So I don't think this is an overnight process, just so everybody knows. Collectively, I think that the next few years may be very challenging. I think it may be kind of like, wow, we are ushering in some new paradigm that I don't understand, that kind of is, unsettling, is shocking. And we don't know where we're going. This could be the emergence of the butterfly that is, so spectacular and changes all of our lives. So this is a 20-year period. We are entering, as of the 19th, day one of that 20-year period. So, something like 2044. So this is energy we're going to be living with for a very long time. So this was meant to be a quick just celebration of a new energy coming, to give you a sense that it may not all be wine and roses, and it still is really kind of exciting. And the more we can sort of embrace that change is good, that disrupting the status quo can result in unknown riches, that's what we need to be. That's the mental mindset that we need to be in right now as we approach Pluto and Aquarius, because the universe is going to do what the universe is going to do. We don't have to get bogged down in our own fear of all of the catastrophes that could be coming our way. So, I'm not really getting into the political sphere of things. I just really want to get into the heart of Pluto and Aquarius, which is there are opportunities here. There is growth coming. and stay grounded. Take opportunities to recognize that something fresh and new is being born, and we're gonna go through some growing pains, but we're going through those growing pains together. So as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And I will be doing a lot more on Pluto and Aquarius, and I will be doing a lot more on the 2025 transits with other astrologers, as well as my own take. And yeah, there's a reason and a season for it all. The universe is conspiring to help us. And so until next time, stargazers, pop the champagne and congratulate yourselves for getting through Pluto and Capricorn.
Thank you.